Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your full moon report for the full moon in Gemini, the last full moon of 2024, happening on December 15th at 1:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So there's a couple things going on with this full moon, but I want to just honor the fact that the majority of us, even if we do follow the moon cycles every time they come around 13 times a year, there is a pull in almost all of us to look at the last full moon of the year or the last new moon of the year, the calendar year, and feel a sense of urgency to get it together. So I want to honor that because it's kind of a big deal. It's something that I think even people like myself at the end of the year, I'm not wanting to take old patterns and old ideas and all of that into the following year with me, even though I work on these things every lunar cycle. It's just like a human nature, I think, right? And at the same time, I want you to understand that seasonally, because I want you to cut yourself some slack, seasonally, around March is when things start to feel like we're ready to kind of move forward. So I just want to put that out there for you and for me as a reminder too. So we have a full moon happening in Gemini, and I love Gemini, first of all, because don't really, I don't have a lot of Gemini in my chart or in my family's chart. And so it's something that when it comes up, I dive in because I'm not forced to try to understand Gemini because it's not prevalent in my life. But one thing I love about the idea of Gemini is that, remember, they're the twins. And if we think of one of those twins as our human existence, and then we think of the other twin as our soul, it makes it a lot more fun for me anyway. So it makes it a lot more fun because I try to remember like we're both, right? Like we are a spiritual being living a human experience. And some days we have to be very, very human. And then that can get very strenuous and labor intensive. And other days we have the opportunity to really let go of some of those things. So I feel like with this full moon, that's sort of an undercurrent of the energy. I want to show you the different transits that we have during this full moon so that maybe you'll see what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we have the moon in Gemini at 23 degrees. That is up here at the top. Jupiter's pretty close. Here's the sun right here. We've got a couple of transits happening, and one that I think is pretty important. Jupiter's pretty active with this moon, and it's doing a few things. First of all, it's got a little bit of a opposition. It's a little out of bounds, but it's opposing Mercury. It's also again a little out of bounds, trining Venus, and it's also got this little energy toward the sun, and it's also squaring Saturn. So Jupiter is the planet of abundance. Jupiter is the planet of education and wisdom and knowledge, and then Jupiter also expands everything. Now Jupiter's in retrograde right now, which makes the essence of Jupiter a little bit more magnified, okay? Which isn't a bad thing. The only thing that I find with Jupiter's energy being magnified, while on one side of the coin, it can, expand our awareness and expand opportunities and bring more abundance and things of this nature, create opportunities for a wider perspective on things. It can also create a sense of overwhelmment because maybe we say yes to too many things, or maybe our emotions are amplified when they don't need to be. Things like this. You know, Jupiter is just such a lovely planet to play with. And it's also one that we want to be aware of, right? So notice your emotions during this full moon and ask yourself, is this something that I need to get all fired up about or say yes to? Is it really aligned? This is a really good full moon, you guys, to get clear and really let go of the things from 2024 that don't serve you anymore. And Jupiter will help that, but Jupiter can also hinder that. So just be really, really mindful. Keep your mind and your heart open and pointed in the direction of abundance and love and optimism and awareness around expansion and things like that, but just don't get whirled up into everyone else's stuff. Mercury will also go direct on the day of the full moon. So here's Mercury down here. And Mercury is also making a lot of, Mercury is creating a trine to Mars, and it's creating a trine to Neptune in a few degrees. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's enough to make a difference. Mercury is a planet of communication, and as Mercury's been in retrograde since November 25th, which always gives us the opportunity to slow down our communication, to really think about what we want. It can also add a lot of confusion to our lives, but maybe not. It might make us refine how we put ourselves out into the world or what we really want to say. And so as Mercury stations direct on the full moon, things that have been unavailable to us, right? Like certain facts or certain ideas, certain thought processes might come to the surface. Some aha moments might happen, which is wonderful. You potentially will start to feel a greater sense of clarity around things that you've been maybe trying to make a decision of, right? Make a decision around. Mercury is also going to be working alongside Neptune, which Neptune also just recently stationed direct. And so Neptune is the planet of spirituality. It's the planet of creativity. It's a planet of, thinking beyond the rational mind. So Mercury is complete rational mind, day-to-day thinking. Neptune is like, let's think outside the box. Let's think about, Dungeons and Dragons and fairies and this whole like existence that we don't need to see, but we know is real. So when these two planets are in harmony, it's a really beautiful opportunity to trust your intuition, trust your instincts, merge these two senses, use them both. Don't just use the rational thinking mind because that's too rational. Use a little bit of intuition, a little bit of magic as well. But this full moon might be really helpful in releasing energy. It can also create a sense of static. So I want you to be, because it's Gemini, just basically because it's Gemini. So I want you to really understand that these practices that we have, yoga, meditation, nature bathing, breathing, whatever it is that you do for yourself to align the spiritual side of you to the human part of you, to merge these two, to find balance of these two. That's something that you want to practice during this full moon, because we're moving into first of all, we've moved into the Aquarian age. So we are now in energy that moves quicker than we're used to. If you live in the United States, we're moving into a new era of our political realm. So that's going to change things. We just are moving into a chapter of our existence where I mean, everything is shifting. When I host this cosmic map of 2025, I really hope you can come, because 2025 is going to be an unprecedented year of change. It's going to be an unprecedented year of change. We've got just so many planets shifting and so many unprecedented alignments and transits. So I think one of the biggest things you can do with this full moon is to really ask yourself, what has been heavy that I have been carrying? You know, what do I no longer need? Where do I want to put my focus? And what, in particular, what emotions can I purge so that I'm not reacting, I'm actually responding to this new energy that's coming through. And so that I'm not bogged down with old stuff. I'm actually a clear beacon to the messages that are trying to come through. I know it sounds a little like woo woo. Those of you who know me, you know that I am part woo woo. But I also have my feet on the ground, and I understand that we have to be both. We have to be able to remember that there's like a whole bigger picture out there in the world. And there's also this part of us that is the co-director of our life. And every step we take is really important. So just marrying these two energies, I think, is going to be really important. You know, the year is going to end, the calendar year is going to end with a new moon. And so think of this full moon as that last push to like just purge whatever it is you don't want anymore. And sometimes that's painful, right? We're like, but I don't want to let go of that relationship. It's so comfortable. Or I want to keep, you know, being in this space of comfort in my relationship, my job, my house, my whatever. But sometimes when we let go of something that's comfortable because we know it's kind of outdated for us, it opens up a whole new world. So if you know, if this resonates with you, yay, I'm so happy. If it doesn't, it's okay. My invitation to you, if you have any interest in this, is to join me on January 3rd for my Cosmic Map 2025. It's a brand new program I'm launching in 2025. I'll do it every year as long as y'all love it. I'm really excited about it. It's on January 3rd at noon, and it's a live webinar. We're going to go over all of the transits for 2025 that are important. And I'm sure we'll have some time to go over how this will directly affect you, depending upon your sign and certain placements on your chart. So if you go to yourcosmicmapping.com, you'll find all the information. And I do have a sale on it through the full moon, through December 15th. It is half off, so I would love to have you join me. Please feel free to go to yourcosmicmapping.com and reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope you're having a beautiful day, you guys. Namaste.